On a gloomy Monday morning, heavy doors of family court creaked open as Judge Camille Hartley stepped into courtroom 3. Known as the Ice Queen for her calm and unshakable demeanor, she had built a reputation for fairness over her 15 years on the bench. But today, something felt different, though she couldn't yet explain why. As the bailiff called the next case, a young girl entered the room with hesitant steps. Ebony Green, just 9 years old, had spent almost her entire life shuffled from one foster home to another. 5 families had taken her in and let her go. Her case file was thick, filled with notes of withdrawn behavior, night terrors, and an inability to bond. Just another tragic case in an endless cycle. But something about this child caught Judge Hartley's attention. Unlike most children who entered the courtroom, Ebony wasn't fidgeting, wasn't glancing nervously around the room. Instead, she walked with her head bowed, clutching a worn photograph as if it were her only lifeline. "State your names," the judge instructed, her voice measured. Regina Young, a soft-spoken woman, cleared her throat. Regina Young, foster parent. Next to her, the social worker introduced herself. Then, with a gentle nudge, she encouraged Ebony to speak. The girl's dark eyes flickered up, just for a moment, and in that instant, Judge Hartley felt something strange. It was just a look, a fleeting moment of connection, but it unsettled her in a way she couldn't explain. Ebony said nothing, just gave a small, almost imperceptible nod. Regina shifted uncomfortably. "Your Honor, I can't manage Ebony anymore. She refuses to speak most days, and when she does..." Regina hesitated, struggling for words. "She insists I'm not her real family. She's not adjusting." Judge Hartley's expression remained unreadable. "You agreed to provide a stable environment for her, correct?" "Yes, but..." Regina's voice wavered. "It's been difficult." Ms. Cole, the social worker, spoke up. "Your Honor, Ebony has experienced severe trauma. She has memories of a mother she never knew, and she clings to them." At that, Ebony's small shoulders hunched even further. But what Judge Hartley noticed most was how tightly the child gripped that old photograph. Her knuckles had gone white. Something about Ebony's quiet presence sent an uneasy ripple through the judge's composed exterior. In her years on the bench, she had seen countless children break down, cry, or lash out. But this child, this fragile, silent girl, stirred something deeper, something almost familiar. Taking a slow breath, Judge Hartley leaned forward slightly. "Ebony," she said gently, "would you like to tell me how you feel about staying with Ms. Young?" For a moment, silence. Then, Ebony's lips parted. Her voice trembled. I want to go home." The words hung in the air. It wasn't unusual for foster children to say that. Many longed for parents they barely remembered, but there was something raw in Ebony's tone, something desperate, something pleading. Even the hardened bailiff shifted uncomfortably. Judge Hartley studied her. "You mean a home with your biological family?" Ebony swallowed hard, then, slowly, lifted her gaze. "She's here." A murmur spread through the courtroom. Regina frowned. Ms. Cole looked startled. Judge Hartley's pulse quickened. "Ebony," she said carefully, "who do you believe is here?" The girl's grip on the photograph tightened. Her small hand shook as she extended it toward the judge. "You." A sharp gasp echoed through the room. Judge Hartley felt her breath hitch. I don't understand." "You abandoned me," Ebony whispered, her voice barely audible. Shock rippled through the courtroom. Ms. Cole was already shaking her head. "Ebony, that's not..." But Ebony took a step forward, holding out the old photograph. "You said you'd come back," she said, her voice cracking. "But you never did." Judge Hartley hesitated, then reached out, taking the worn piece of paper between trembling fingers. The moment her eyes landed on the image, the room seemed to tilt. The photograph was old, yellowed at the edges. It showed a young woman, tall, poised, a faint smile on her lips, and in her arms, a baby, wrapped in a pastel blanket. Judge Hartley's chest tightened. The woman in the photo looked like her. Not just like her. It was her. A memory, a life she had buried long ago, rushed to the surface. A college relationship, a pregnancy, a painful decision, an adoption she had convinced herself was for the best, and the official letter that followed, telling her the infant had died. But if that was true, how was Ebony standing here now? The room spun. Judge Hartley forced herself to speak, but her voice came out unsteady. "Ebony, where did you get this?" "A lady gave it to me," the girl said quietly. "She told me this was my mother. She said my mom promised to come back for me, but she never did." The judge's heart pounded. Who was this woman? "Ms. Kelly," Ebony answered. "She worked at the home, but she disappeared after she gave me this." Ms. Kelly. The name sent a jolt through Judge Hartley's mind. Years ago, a nurse had tried to contact her. She had dismissed it, convinced it was a cruel scam. Had she been wrong? Had the truth been right in front of her all along? Judge Hartley's breath came unsteadily. "Ebony, I need to do something. A test, to be sure." The child looked up at her, eyes brimming with unshed tears. "But you look just like her." Tears burned behind the judge's eyes. "If you're my daughter, Ebony, I swear, I didn't know. I thought you were gone. Ebony blinked. Then why does it feel like you left me? The question shattered her. Slowly, she rose from her seat, crossing the room. She reached out, hesitating only for a second before taking the little girl's hand in hers. I can't change what happened, Judge Hartley whispered. But if you are my daughter, I will spend the rest of my life making it right. Ebony let out a shaky breath. I want that to be true. The courtroom buzzed with whispers. Outside, rumors swirled. Could it be true? Had a mistake? Something more sinister? Ripped a child from her mother's arms? As the days passed, the DNA test results arrived. Ms. Cole personally delivered them, her expression solemn. 99.9% match. Ebony wasn't just another child in the system. She was Camille Hartley's daughter. Judge Hartley's hands shook as she read the results. She looked up at Ebony, who stared back, wide-eyed. So, you're my mom? The judge's breath caught. Yes, Ebony, I'm your mom. The little girl's face crumpled, and then, without hesitation, she threw herself into her mother's arms. Tears flowed freely. For the first time in 9 years, Ebony felt safe, and for the first time in her life, Judge Hartley knew what it truly meant to be a mother. But the real question remained: who had stolen her child all those years ago?